Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be photographing sandhill cranes. Every year in the upper Midwest, the sandhill cranes migrate through and we get somewhere between 10 to 20,000 of them in this area in Wisconsin. So my goals today are to try to get some shots of the sandhill cranes in flight. Some of them more of a landscape, so they will be in flight, but it'll be more about the landscape with them as part of the landscape, so shooting a little bit wider. Then also to get some ground shots as well. Try to get some of the interaction between the birds. One of the challenges is during the day the birds aren't here, but as it gets closer to evening, they start coming in. They go out to the farm fields during the day to just get whatever corn and nut that they can find that was just left in the fields. And as it gets darker, we have to continue to boost up the ISO. Typically, we want to be shooting around 1/2000th of a second in order to try to get the birds nice and sharp. So this will sometimes mean ISOs of 8,000 or even higher. One of the challenges we're going to have this afternoon is if we come over and if you look over towards the west, we can see that there's some pretty significant cloud movement happening. The sun's going to get blocked pretty soon, even though right now it's beautiful blue skies, a little bit of clouds. I think we are going to be challenged a little bit by light when the birds do start coming in. And I suspect right now it's about 4 o'clock. You can kind of hear them. But I do suspect that it'll probably be another half an hour, 45 minutes before we start to see them arrive. In terms of equipment, what I'll be using for the birds in flight, I'll be using the Nikon 180 to 600 millimeter lens, really nice birding lens. It's worked out pretty well for me. I got it just before sandhill crane season last year, so I've had it for about a year. And I do like the way it works. It does need a little bit of help sometimes locking onto the birds as they're flying by. But if you make sure you've got that focus out around infinity, when you start to look for them through the lens, it'll usually do a pretty good job. So, approach I'm going to take in terms of camera settings, let's start with an ISO of 4,000, only because I do think that that sun is we're going to lose it here pretty quick. And start with a shutter speed of 1/2000th and then see what the aperture does for that. My guess is it's going to be pretty close to wide open, maybe one stop closed down. So we'll see what we get. It didn't take long before it really got dark. Once those clouds moved in, lost all the light, and it started to get to the point with this image. I was up to ISO 8000 and my shutter speed was down to 1/1/250th or 1/1250th of a second. And that's really about as slow as I really wanted to go with trying to get these birds in flight. And I don't think this one's too bad. If you zoom all the way in, you'll see a little bit of motion blur, but overall I think it worked out. It was definitely getting way too dark. So I decided that after taking this photo, I would head back to the hotel, get something to eat, and then come back out the next morning. And we had a beautiful morning, as it turns out. So definitely worth doing that. And I got out a little bit before sunrise, and the birds were just really taking off, heading out to the fields. And I really liked this one with just the really golden light in the background, the pre-sunrise and the silhouettes of the birds, and was able to now start shooting much lower ISO and getting my shutter speed up to where I wanted, and was pretty happy with this. And then there were a few others that I got as well. So I definitely had my birds in flight shots. Next, it was off to try to get some with the birds and a little bit more of the landscape, so shooting a little bit wider and also getting the ground shot. So I was kind of going back and forth between them. And so I took a little bit of a break, then went and had some lunch, and then came back in the afternoon. And it almost looked like it was going to be a repeat again of what I had the previous day with the clouds rolling in right at the end of the day. But they did hold off, and that allowed me to get a few more shots. So here is a slideshow of the photos that I took that I liked. Let me know in the comments if any of these are your favorites or which one you think is a favorite. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to be notified of future ones, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the little bell, and then you'll get an email notification whenever I post some new video. Thanks.